All right, good morning everybody, and thank you again for joining us here today to get you an update on this very important project. As I think you can see, there's been a lot of activity going on over the last few days. As you know, we started 24/7 operations on Wednesday night, and that's been a lot of work for a lot of people on site here. So I'd like to start off by thanking the men and women of Mass DOT and our contractor who have been really putting in a lot of hours to get this project done. There's been a lot of sleep lost over this project already, and we're continuing to work until it's completed. So, as you know, this is a structurally deficient bridge, and we're using accelerated bridge construction techniques to get the job done. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of progress so far. So, demolition started on Friday night, right after we had our traffic mitigation put into place, and that again was pushing all of the traffic on the turnpike, squeezing it down to 3 total lanes, and that all went onto the westbound side of the bridge so that we could begin demolition procedures on the eastbound side of the bridge. So, since that time, all of the demolition is now complete on the eastbound side of the bridge. They met our next big milestone, which was to get all the debris removed. So that's what they've been doing for the last, since getting the demolition done late yesterday, is they've been going into debris removal stage. And the whole intention of that is to get the turnpike opened up underneath, the roadway opened up, and especially to get the rail bed area clear for Amtrak and commuter rail this morning. Some of the steel has been placed to date. You can see that it's staged all over the place right now, including on the empty portions of the turnpike and some of the connecting roads approaching the area. So the last big milestone that we hit, as I said, was wrapping up demolition yesterday so that we could start cleaning up debris under the bridge and in the rail bed to open it up for commuter rail and Amtrak service this morning. We hit those milestones on time. So I'm happy to say that as of midnight last night, the rail section was open again and was inspected by Amtrak and commuter rail. Traffic resumed this morning as scheduled. Also at about 4:30 a.m., we provided some relief to commuters by opening up an additional lane of traffic on the turnpike. So there's currently running 2 lanes in, 2 lanes out on the turnpike. Again, they're all compressed onto the westbound barrel of the pike at the moment. That configuration will stay in place through the work week, and then heading into Friday night, we're going to switch that around again into a 3-lane configuration so they can continue with some more intense construction activities. So, what's going to happen next is that over the next few days, we're going to continue with steel erection. Sometime midweek, we will divert turnpike traffic onto the eastbound side of the turnpike under the newly erected steel girders, which again we're hoping to have in place over the next few days. We will then start demolition on the 3rd and final span of the Commwealth Avenue Bridge. Once demolition is complete on that span, we'll again do the same sequence that we've been doing on this one. It'll go to steel erection and then prefabricated concrete deck panels. So our next milestone, our next big milestone that commuters need to worry about is to have next Monday have pike traffic fully restored to where it was pre-construction, and then we'll head into a stage where we're going to get the above bridge sections done after that. So traffic impacts, I know it's what everybody's been talking about and concerned about, so let me tell you that we've been monitoring traffic conditions very closely. Traffic so far has been slow and steady, so the volume is light for a Monday morning, which is great. That means I think a lot of people have taken our advice and have either shifted their travel times or taken a different mode of transportation altogether. But regardless, there is congestion. And at our last check-in at 7:30 this morning with my traffic guys, we were seeing that congestion was backed up all the way into about Newton. That's more than it typically is. Typically on a Monday, you're going to have congestion that's somewhere around the Allston-Brighton tolls is when you'd hit it at that time. So it is further back than it normally is, but it is right in the range that we've expected, and that's great. In fact, again, it's a little bit better than we expected. I think the ride-in has not been hitting that 90-minute delay that could have happened. So we really appreciate the cooperation of the traveling public for shifting around their schedules to accommodate this project. So it still is worth reiterating. Motorists need to plan their trip ahead of time. Give yourselves plenty of time to get to where you need to go. If you have to be somewhere on time, like at the airport, leave early. Make sure that you plan your trip. Look at all the resources that we're providing so that you know where you're going to be and know where you're going to be on time. We continue to advise everybody to reduce, reroute, or remode their transportation to help to help decrease congestion during peak hours. If you need to come in from the west, the Worcester-Framingham line has capacity. It's a great option that you should consider. I know that talking to our partners over at the MBTA, they were seeing that ridership increased this morning by about 400 riders, so that's great news that people are starting to take advantage of that. Our Green Line and bus route diversions are continuing to go smoothly, but we are seeing again some congestion on local roads in the area, and again nothing that's unexpected, but people need to be aware. This is a very active construction zone, and you're going to run into delays if you're going to try to get in and around this area. So again, let me reiterate that if you have to come in, plan your trip ahead of time, give yourself plenty of extra time, use whatever tools you have available to you, whether that's Waze, Mass 511, or whatever traffic and mapping program of your choice is. Make sure you understand well in advance what you could be up against before you start your commute, and leave yourself a lot of extra time. So in conclusion, again, we're using accelerated construction techniques here. That approach is enabling us to do this project over a 6-week period, 3 weeks this year, 3 weeks next year. It's a quick hit, but what it does, and it causes a lot of agony, I know, for the everyday commuter, but what it does is it allows us to get out of here very quickly versus a very long 4 to 5 year typical construction project where you'd be in for endless day-to-day congestion. So there's been a lot of interest in this project. We've had a lot of positive feedback so far. We appreciate the help that the media has been giving us getting the word out, and again, we especially appreciate the positive feedback and the understanding of the traveling public that has to come through here every day. So with that, I'm happy to take some questions.
You talked about the lanes being restored sometime next week, so that's all 8 lanes on the pike?
So I believe, Mike, is it going back to 6 lanes initially and then back to 4 total is the final condition? Yeah, so initially it'll be restored back to 3 lanes in each direction, and then ultimately at the end of this whole thing, you'll have 4.
When will it be 3?
It'll be 3 sometime at the beginning of next week, and then on the 14th is when it gets back to the final condition.
When the tolls came out, most commuters, or a large amount of commuters, seemed to listen
Yep.
to your advice on that first day, and then the next day was awful.
Yeah.
What's your expectations for this time around? Any signs to be optimistic that folks will stay away for more than one day during the event?
It's really hard to tell for sure what people are going to do. You know, we do the best modeling that we have available to us, and that's where we come up with our travel time predictions. But people are going to behave the way they're going to behave, and what we're hoping is that people don't look at today as a successful commute in as thinking that it's going to be easy for them to do it tomorrow. It won't. The same congestion and restrictions that we have in place today are going to be here tomorrow, and if everybody that took today off and went someplace else decides to come in, you might see those type of delays that we have predicted to become a reality. So we're hoping that doesn't happen. We hope that a lot of people chose to take this as a vacation week. This would have been a great week to do it. You're going to have some great weather, so you still have that opportunity. I'd recommend doing it. But again, we're not going to be sure until tomorrow comes, but we're going to continue to monitor things closely.
Do you have any numbers in terms of traffic volume from the AET system or any
I don't have any handy. We can try to look those up and get those to you, though.
You're saying that the next step is to shift everyone to the east side. When do you expect that?
That's going to happen midweek, and it depends on the progress we're making with the steel erection. Again, so far everything has been going according to schedule. We've hit all our major milestones. Some of those interim schedules, we'll have to wait and see exactly where they hit. So when that shift will occur, that's, again, sometime midweek. Any other questions?
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.